Hello my lovelies, I hope you're all well. Today we're going to be reacting to more Sheriff Judd. This video was recommended to me in the comments, so if you have any more recommendations then leave them below. Okay, let's get into this.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being with us, or the good afternoon. Thank you for being with us today. You know, there's some things in life that's got to be true because you just can't make it up. So I want to introduce you to a young man who's 32 years of age and he's old enough to know better, Christopher Hendricks. Now, if you don't know Christopher, you ought to take a look at him. There was a lot of people that got to meet him this morning around I-4 and 557 at the Marathon gas station. This is a picture of Christopher. It's a very nice picture in his state prison outfit. You see, he was sentenced to 10 years in state prison for aggravated battery, which was a plea down from attempted murder.
Ooh.
He did his full sentence, which with gain time comes up to about almost 8 years, and was released. Apparently he behaved, or at least he was not caught, for 3 years. So let's fast forward to this morning. This morning at 7:45, he is on Interstate 4, and he's involved in a hit and run crash.
Oh no.
That's right. He crashes his vehicle that's registered to him, and as he runs off of the road into the swampy area in his vehicle, Christopher says to himself, "Self, I don't think I want to hang around for this," so he runs. I don't know what he thought he was going to accomplish because the vehicle was registered to Christopher Hendricks. He's from Bellevue, Florida, which is in the area of Ocala. Well, now Christopher is on foot. He's fleeing on foot from this hit and run crash he's involved in that the Highway Patrol is working, and he runs up to the Marathon gas station on 557, which is just south of the interstate. And he's tried to steal this lady's vehicle, her gray Chevy Colorado pickup truck. Well, she didn't think much of that. No. In fact, she was in the process of gassing her vehicle when he tried to get in, so she appropriately took the gas nozzle and sprayed him with gasoline. Christopher rethought that. He decided that that was not the vehicle that he wanted, so he fled.
Funny that.
Well, he ran immediately to a burgundy-colored van that was there. And of course, the owner was not in the van, but he was up at the store. The owner said to himself, "Self, I believe Christopher Hendricks is trying to steal my van." So the man, who has a concealed weapons permit, promptly pulled out his firearm and extracted Christopher from his vehicle at gunpoint. He would have been totally justified if he'd have shot Christopher, but he didn't want to do that. And Christopher complied and got out of the vehicle.
I know obviously we have very different gun laws in this country, but like I'm ex-military and we were never allowed to use deadly force in the protection of property. It was only ever the protection of human life. So that's strange to me that he would be justified to shoot the guy just for trying to steal his vehicle. Interesting.
So that's 2 vehicles that he tried to tap. So Christopher decides that at this point in his excitement that he should probably flee from this particular location because these folks from Polk County, Florida were not in the mood to have their car stolen or jacked from them this morning.
No.
So what does he do? He starts and he runs down the side of the embankment and he jumps onto the westbound traffic of the interstate. Well, there's a fellow driving a box truck. That fellow says to himself, "Self, I really don't want to run over Christopher Hendricks, who has just jumped into the westbound traffic of Interstate 4. And if that's not a suicidal move, I don't know
I've got a
what
death
is.
wish.
So he slams on brakes. He is rewarded with his efforts by being rear-ended by a semi. So now we have another crash. Well, Christopher sees that he's created another kerfuffle. So
He's just leaving havoc in his wake, this guy.
he flees and he runs to the other side of the westbound traffic, where a very nice person driving a green pickup truck has stopped to help. So he tries to get in that vehicle.
Yeah. I thought
Well, that
coming.
fella doesn't think too much about that as well, and he's got his doors locked so he can't get in there. Is Christopher deterred? No, he's not deterred. So he goes to the fourth vehicle. That is another Good Samaritan who stopped on the interstate to try to help in a red Chevy Equinox. He tried to get in that vehicle. That victim grabbed his keys out of his vehicle and he ran. Well, all during this time, people are dialing 911 and our deputies are frantically trying to run in emergency mode to get there. But if you're familiar with this particular area, it's kind of out in the countryside on the interstate. But we arrive.
Wow.
We arrive in force. And we take Christopher Hendricks into custody. And we put Christopher Hendricks in handcuffs in the back of our car. He is not pleased. Christopher Hendricks tries to escape. He kicks the back windows out of the patrol car in an effort to escape.
With handcuffs
Not
on?
only was he going to escape, he was going to steal our handcuffs too. We didn't appreciate that very much.
No.
So finally, we've got Christopher Hendricks wrestled under control and locked up in the county jail. It's our goal to send him back to state prison. But first and foremost, I want to thank the two people at the Marathon Station, what I call wonderful people from Polk County, who said, Christopher, you're not going to steal my truck. You already tore your own truck up. And then when he ran down into the interstate, people trying to help, he tried to steal their car, and they go, you're not stealing our vehicle. And they resisted him. And ultimately, he was arrested. I have absolutely no idea what this guy was thinking.
I don't think he was thinking.
But it was evident this morning he might have had 5 brain cells. 3 of them weren't working.
Sounds about right.
He's locked up in the county jail. The highway patrol is assisting. They're doing the vehicle crashes. They will coordinate with and continue to work with our detectives and deputies as we solidify all of the various felony charges against him. Our goal is to send him back to state prison for an extended period of time because it's painfully evident to us that the community's not safe when he's at large. Now, I know probably his parents will think this is a low-level, nonviolent misdemeanor, and he really didn't mean it, and he's sorry, and he's very sorry, and he didn't mean it, and he won't do it again
We're sorry
until
afterwards.
he does it again. But that's not the way the rest of us think in the system. The rest of us understand him for what he is. He's a dangerous man. Are there any questions?
Sir, do you see that the people involved, specifically the victims, were lucky this morning? And you'd mentioned he could have been shot, so perhaps you could argue he's lucky too, right?
Sure, it was a lucky day for him. He was not injured in the car crash. She didn't set him on fire when she sprayed him with gas.
Yeah.
The man who owned the other car, while he was committing forcible felonies, had every right to shoot him and didn't. He only used enough force to get him out of his vehicle and on his way.
Which I would agree with.
So he was as fortunate as our victims were. Yes, our victims were fortunate. But you know what is really cool about Polk County? We fight back. We fight back against criminals. We carry concealed firearms. And heck, the lady who didn't have a concealed firearm had a gas hose, which worked just remarkably well.
Yeah.
But even after he was in handcuffs in the car, he still fought to get away. What is he thinking?
He's not.
I think he's thinking, I don't want
I
to go
don't
back to
wanna
prison.
Yeah, that's what he's
But
thinking.
we're
I ain't
thinking
going back.
you should. So that's where we are today.
Sheriff, you're not allowed to use deadly force for a property crime. Why do you say he would have been justified in killing him?
Well, because that is a, first off, he tried a carjacking with a lady. And then he was doing a burglary of a vehicle, and he was in the string of a group of felonies at the time. It is if you're the suspect. I guarantee you, when you start trying to carjack somebody's car at a gas station, you're subject to get shot, and shot a lot.
Did he have a weapon?
She doesn't have to have a weapon, brother. You can carjack with just pure violence and force.
Stealing a car.
He was trying to carjack the first lady. She was gassing up.
With the gun on her.
It's all the same thing. It's all the same event.
You don't think that's a dangerous message you're putting out to Polk County citizens?
That is an absolute correct message I'm putting out to Polk County citizens. You try to break into somebody's car and steal it while they're there with it, that's called armed carjacking.
He wasn't armed.
The other guy was armed. You don't look at individual events. You look at the string of violent felonies he was committing. And that's a violent felony to try to take somebody's car from them with force, with or without a weapon. And you're sending the wrong message. The message is you don't have to have a firearm. You don't have to have a knife to be a dangerous individual. And if you come to this county, and if you use extreme violence to try to carjack somebody from their car, if you get shot, that's on you. You can protect yourself and your property.
I think some attorneys would disagree with you, but you're the sheriff, so.
I don't care. That's what the attorneys do. Attorney's attorney. But I can tell you right now, you come to this county and you do this string of violent stuff, you're blessed. You're blessed because that man up at that store had the right to protect himself. He had the right to protect his property. He had the right to protect that lady. That lady had the right to protect herself and her property. Come on, man. What's wrong with you? And then he goes down to the interstate, causes a crash, tries to break in and steal 2 more cars while they're occupied. While they're occupied. You don't think there's a problem with that?
You said they don't have a right to protect their property. That's what they did do. You were saying he should have shot him.
I didn't say he should have. I said he could have. But he chose not to.
Which was the correct choice, correct?
The choice was that he used the force necessary to protect himself and his property. Had he used that force at the end of that string of violent felonies and encounters and attempted carjackings and stealing from people's cars while they're there in it with it, and subsequently tried to break into and did get into 1 car with a man in it, you can't break into people's cars and take it with them in it. You can't do that. Here's a message. Mind your business. Don't commit crime. Leave people alone. And if you end up in this shape, he needs to count himself very lucky today.
Yeah.
You got any other questions?
I do. President Trump tested positive for COVID-19. Why don't you or any of your staff in this building wear masks?
Oh,
I'm not going to answer that question.
no.
You have any other questions you want me to not answer?
That's the only questions I have.
Grady's mad. That reporter, it was being annoying. I mean, I get it because I brought the point up myself, but I'm in a different country. I don't know your gun laws in and out. But I thought it would have been a bit of a stretch for the guy to shoot him when he was trying to steal his van. So I think if he had shot him, then there would have been some big questions being asked. But why are none of you and your staff wearing masks? I mean, I don't know when was this video? When was this? Let me see. October. Okay, so yeah, but wasn't Florida like fully open then? I'm pretty sure Florida's been like fully open since September, am I right? You'll have to let me know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, we over here, it's July. It is July and we're still having to wear masks. That should be coming to an end on Monday the 19th though, and I cannot wait, because once it is no longer legally required for me to wear a mask in shops and stuff, I'm not wearing one. I hate them so much. They irritate my sinuses really bad. And you know, the science, I'm not going to get into all that because we're going to end up having arguments, but yeah, I can't wait for the mask mandate to finish. But let's just finish off this video.
Okay.
Grady's
President
mad.
Trump comes here, he don't have to wear a mask either.
Yeah.
Have a good day. Any other questions?
He didn't give your deputies any indication in transit of why he did what he did this
He would
morning?
not talk to us. He would not communicate
Of course he
with us.
wouldn't
And we're
talk.
still, you know, as you know, we tie all this information together and give it to you pretty quickly. We're still lacing all this together. There's still more that we don't know. I mean, if he lives in Bellevue, which is, what, hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes
What
up
was
the
he
road.
doing down there?
Why is he here in the morning? Why did he have the crash? Why did he flee? Why did he try to carjack the lady who's getting gas? Why did he try to steal the man's car? Why did he jump down on the interstate and do burglaries into the vehicle? You know, he was a very dangerous person this morning. And everybody was blessed. The
Yeah.
victims of the vehicle were blessed. It's too late after you're run over by the guy trying to steal your car and leave.
Yeah.
Anything else? Y'all have a good day.
Okay, that was it. I love Grady. I think he's awesome. That was a crazy story, wasn't it? We've heard a few stories coming out of America of, you know, ex-felons. They do something wrong, and rather than just accept their fate of being rearrested, probably sent back to prison, they'll fight and they'll run and they end up getting shot and stuff like that. This didn't happen to this guy, but he has been rearrested and he's probably going back to prison for a long time, and that's obviously what he was trying to avoid. They didn't say what the hit and run was that he initially ran from. Did he hit somebody? I'm sure they probably would have mentioned, take these out. They didn't mention what the hit and run was. Whether any, like, there was another vehicle involved or what. But he obviously panicked big time. I suppose, so he was a few years out of prison, and I guess he thought, like, immediately, I've done something wrong, I'll be going back to prison. Which, is that always the case? That you would go immediately back to prison if you did something, even if it was just an accident? I don't know. Either way, he made some bad choices after that accident. He made terrible choices. And luckily, nobody got hurt. How lucky is that? Right. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you very soon.